The acquisition of new territory resulted in new patterns of settlement and land use. Expansion into the lands north and west of the Ohio River contributed to the economic and political growth of the United States. The Ordinance of 1785 was an act that looked to survey, divide, and sell the lands in this territory. Land use was an issue that the Ordinance of 1785 looked to solve. Uneven settlement occurred in this territory because of differences in the land. Settlers inhabited the most ideal land and stayed away from less desirable land. The Ordinance of 1785 created townships with sections in the form of a grid. This led to some less desirable land being packaged with more desirable land. The Ordinance of 1785 created townships. These townships were created in the form of a grid. The townships were 6 miles by 6 miles. The townships were then further divided into 36 sections. One of these sections was to be dedicated to public education in the township. The sections were then sold by the government. These original townships and their organization can still be seen in many cities in this area today. An educated population was seen as vital importance for citizens in a democracy. The Ordinance of 1785 designated one section in each township for public education. This idea of public education grew out of a tradition that could be found in the New England colonies. This helped to create the foundation for public education in the United States today. The Ordinance of 1785 created a system for selling land. The government looked to sell this land to establish more of a presence of Americans in the territory and to help repay debt. The government had fears that the inhabitants in this territory may try to form an independent nation. Selling land to Americans who would occupy and be loyal would help to prevent this. Selling this land would also raise revenue for the federal government. It had no way to tax the states under the Articles of Confederation, and this was viewed as a way to raise revenue to repay debt or begin building infrastructure in the territory.